This is way worse than we thought. The Mets have now lost 4 games in a row and have fell out of first place. Being back at home at Citi Field in front of an enthusiastic crowd was not enough to propel the Mets to get back to their winning ways, and their team continues to struggle in one particular area. I am Adam Choit, your host for today here on Mets Digest, and before we dig in on all that, I just want to give you guys a quick reminder, a quick heads up to please subscribe, because as you can see, 67.5% of you guys watching these videos are not subscribed, so please take a quick second to do that. It is appreciated for sure. Thank you. Well, we need to dig in on this. Us Mets fans are pretty concerned about the offense. There's talent, there's veteran talent, there's young talent, there's players in their prime, and by the end of the season, some of these offensive numbers will probably look pretty damn good, but let's dig a little bit deeper into one particular area of the team. Even with the new look bullpen, the Mets still need to solve offensive woes. The Mets went 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position in Friday's loss. The Mets, who entered the game with a below-average offense in terms of runs per game, struggled against lefty Robbie Ray, who allowed 1 run in 7 innings. The Mets loaded the bases in the 10th inning, thanks in part to the automatic runner, but were 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position in that frame alone. That's from Anthony McCarron from SNY, talking about the Mets' woes with runners in scoring position, an issue I'm sure all you guys are aware of. And, of course, the offense has been struggling even more broadly than that, but specifically the hitting with runners in scoring position has been an issue all season. So let's dig a little deeper into some of these sad, not great numbers and dig in a little bit deeper on 2 particular culprits on the team who have been particularly bad with runners in scoring position. Here's a couple of tweets I wanted to share with you that shed a little bit more light on the issue. The Mets have been a problem. The Mets offense has been a problem since day one of this season, specifically with runners in scoring position. And with the trade deadline past us, all you can do now is hope that after 4 months, it'll improve on its own. And I tend to agree with that, and I get where that sentiment is coming from because the talent is there. The talent is there, like I was saying. They have a high payroll. They got stars. They have all-stars. So there's really no excuse. There's really no rhyme or reason from this other than guys just not being clutch. It comes down to that much. Comes down to that. I know that there's been debate, of course, in the sabermetrics analytics world. Is clutch a real stat? Is it a real thing? And I think it is because I think when situations get tense in a game and there's runners on and it's a tight ball game, I think the heart does race a little more and the mental and can affect the physical. Baseball is a game all about focus and you have to be relaxed at the plate. You can't be gripping the bat tighter. And in a game of inches, where millimeters to combine both metric and the U.S. Scales there, it matters because every little adjustment matters. It's a difference between a fly ball and a home run is minuscule when it comes to baseball and the skills that are involved with baseball. Let's dig into another tweet here. That was from Rich McLeod, by the way. And yeah, I agree that all we can do is hope. Here's from Mets Mirage. Mets offense with runners in scoring position. The Mets are 20th in runs, 13th in home runs, 18th in slugging, 21st in OBP, 19th in OPS, and average 30th. That is dead last. That is not what you want to see. These are not the numbers of a championship contending team. I don't have them in front of me, but I would almost assume that the numbers on every single Mets playoff team and contending team in their entire franchise did not have numbers in the aggregate, so to speak, as lackluster as these. But yeah, this is not what you want to see. Only home runs are in the top half of the league. Not ideal at all. And this is that batting average that that was being referred to before. This is the Mets compared to the rest of all of baseball. Dead last, as you can see. Number 1 in lowest batting average at .226. That is just not what you want to see. That is pretty bad stuff at that. And this right here is the overall league as well, or this is where the Mets exist. They're currently 718 OPS as a team with runners in scoring position. That is not good. I mean, some of these teams above them will not be seeing playoff baseball at all. If the Mets were as good at runners in scoring position as the Orioles, how many wins does that account for? That's the issue with this team, is that there's been too many at bats that have been eaten up with runners in scoring position where you get no production at all. It's not what you want to see if you're a Mets fan, where they are in the league in terms of hitting with runners in scoring position, slugging, average, OPS, all not ideal, all not great. And this right here is the team statistics with runners in scoring position. As you can see, only Alonso, McNeil, and Nimmo, 3 players out of the entire roster, have been really productive at all with runners in scoring position. Beatty, 702 OPS. Marte, 690. That's not particularly amazing. I mean, if the whole team, if you had some other guys doing that, that would be better. That would boost a few more runs for the Mets. I wonder how many wins that would lead to if if they were just slightly better with runners in scoring position, even league average, batting average wise, or in terms of some of these other statistics. But top to bottom, just other than the 3 players I named, just not good at all. Look right here. You have, even Luis Angel Acuna and Ronnie Mauricio. That's over 70 at bats right there. And you're getting a 399 OPS with runners in scoring position and a 345 OPS with runners in scoring position. Imagine if those guys got a couple of, just a few more hits. The Mets have been especially pitiful with runners in scoring position. But even more importantly and more notably than Mauricio and Acuna, who were near the bottom of the team with, sort of opportunities with runners in scoring position, is looking at Lindor, Soto, and even Vientos, who've had more at-bats than them, 67, 94, and 91 for Vientos, Soto, and Lindor, respectively. And just not good production. 654 OPS, runners in scoring position, Vientos, 638 Soto, and 629 Lindor. And that's just not going to get it done. That is not championship baseball at all. And this right here is Soto's stats. And you know how I know this is Soto's stats? Because I pulled up both Lindor's and Soto's stats. And we'll get into Lindor's momentarily. But I know it because of this 191 batting average with runners in scoring position. That's wild to see. That's especially pitiful and terrible. Even worse with just any runners on, 175. And look at this. With no one on, he's 307. Very, very strange. 913 OPS to lead off an inning. Over 1,000 OPS with no one on, but look, with runners on, with scoring position, and bases loaded. If he would have these bases loaded, 762 OPS in all of these situations, you probably wouldn't complain if he had the 762 OPS with runners on and scoring position. Rather, that would be nice if he had 762 in those 2 categories, but that is not the case, and he's just going to have to turn it around, and all we can do is hope. And this is definitely an aberration. Juan Soto is not batting 199 with runners in scoring position in his career. I guarantee that is the case. So let's just, all we can do is hope that they turn it around. And sometimes it's just one big hit or 2 big hits, a couple of big games that can trigger these players and push them into a hot streak. It's going to take a team effort. It's going to take a top to bottom team effort to get this done and to not hold on to first place, to get back into first place and then hold on to it and then look towards the playoffs and hopefully a very deep run and dare I say even going all the way. The Mets will not be able to do that with their current woes hitting with runners in scoring position. And these are Lindor's numbers as well. This man is hitting I guess he's only had 8 plate appearances, I see, with the bases loaded, but 417 OPS with the bases loaded. That's when everyone is supposed to have their highest numbers, their best numbers, when there's nowhere to put you. But yeah, just looking at the scoring position numbers for him, like I said, 629 with scoring position, not much better with runners on, 653, 687 scoring position and 2 out. That's almost, it's bad, but compared to some of these other Soto numbers and Lindor numbers and overall team scoring position numbers, hitting with scoring position numbers we're looking at, that 687 actually isn't too bad. It's still below the average of the team and way below below where Lindor should be as an all-star player. But again, just like Soto, look at the numbers and leading off an inning and with none on compared to in these clutch situations. I don't know what it is. Maybe he needs to change his theme song again or work in some other songs. But the My Girl definitely seems a little less magical when Lindor is going through a rough patch. But what do you guys think? Will Lindor and Soto turn it around with runners in scoring position? What about the rest of the team? What about McNeil and Alonso? Can they keep up with their runners in scoring position numbers? And even though Alonso has largely struggled offensively lately too, but at least he's been the most consistent on the team throughout the year. But let me know what you think about the Mets' offensive woes, their lack of ability to hit with runners in scoring position. What's causing it? What's the reason for it? Drop a comment below, like, share, do all those things, and let's go Mets.